What if the celestial protector you've been searching for in the sky isn't watching over you, but waiting as you, buried under layers of forgetting? For centuries, we have been conditioned to look upward for a guardian angel, a separate winged entity assigned to keep us safe from harm. But the forbidden texts of the early Gnostics and the non-dual wisdom of the Upanishads suggest this is a fundamental error of perception. They didn't speak of a bodyguard who descends to save you. They spoke of a radioactive core of divinity locked inside your biology, the cosmic Christ, or the Atman, that is desperately signaling for you to wake up. Think of your physical body not as a vessel that contains a soul, but as a heavy diving suit weighing you down in the ocean of matter. The angel isn't a diver swimming next to you. It is the oxygen line connecting you to the surface. It is the memory of the air you used to breathe. This internal presence acts like a magnet, creating a gravitational pull that we often mistake for external guidance or intervention. But there is a specific glitch in human consciousness, a mechanism documented by mystics and now hinted at by quantum biology, that makes this internal voice sound like a stranger. In this investigation, we are going to dismantle the comfortable myth of the external protector to reveal something far more empowering and terrifying. First, we will decode why the ancient mystery schools hid the truth about the inner demon for thousands of years. Then we'll explore the specific signals this divine spark uses to override your ego's programming, moments you might have dismissed as mere coincidence. And finally, we will face the ultimate question. If you are indeed the embodied divinity you seek, what are you actually protecting yourself from? But if this power is truly innate, woven into your very atoms, why does it feel so impossibly far away? Imagine a lighthouse standing on a foggy cliff. Ships at sea look toward that light for guidance, praying for its consistency, terrified of the rocks. Now, imagine if the lighthouse keeper suddenly realized that the light wasn't coming from the lamp at the top of the tower, but from his own chest. The entire structure of stone and glass was just a mechanism to focus a brilliance he carried within himself all along. This is the precise shift in perspective required to understand the I Am presence. We have spent millennia building stone towers, religions, rituals, and dogmas to house a light that is biological, spiritual, and intrinsic to our very existence. The traditional view of the guardian angel is comforting, almost like a celestial babysitter. It suggests that despite our flaws, mistakes, and inherent sinfulness, a perfect being from a higher dimension has been assigned to watch over us. This model relies heavily on duality. You are here, flawed and mortal. The angel is there, perfect and eternal. It creates a transactional relationship where we pray for intercession, hoping this external agent will fix our problems or deflect tragedy. But if we look at the Gnostic text found in Nag Hammadi or the esoteric teachings of the Upanishads, this comforting separation collapses. They propose something far more radical and disturbing to the ego. The guardian is not a separate entity. It is the Atman, the true self, the fragment of the absolute that got trapped in the density of matter. The Gnostics called this the divine spark, or pneuma. In their cosmology, the material world is not a school but a prison, or perhaps a labyrinth designed to make you forget the exit. The human soul is a divine seed that has fallen into this heavy, slow, vibrating reality. Over lifetimes encrusted with the mud of ego, trauma, and societal conditioning, the light of this spark becomes dim. We forget who we are. We identify with the mud, not the seed. And this is where the guardian angel phenomenon actually originates. It is not an external being flying down to save you. It is the frequency of your own higher self, that uncorrupted divine spark, piercing through the layers of your forgetfulness. It acts like a homing beacon. When you feel a sudden urge to avoid a certain street or a profound sense of peace during a crisis, it is not someone else whispering in your ear. It is you, the eternal, non-local version of you, trying to communicate with the temporal, localized version of you. This reframing changes the entire game of spirituality. If the guardian is external, you can be passive. You can wait to be saved. But if the guardian is your own embodied divinity, the Christos within, then you are responsible for the rescue mission. You are both the prisoner and the key. The I Am presence is that part of you which never entered the stream of time, never got hurt, never sinned, and never died. It stands on the bank of the river, watching your ego drown and extending a hand. Why is this distinction so vital? Because as long as you project your power onto an external angel, You remain in a state of spiritual childhood. You are giving away your sovereignty. The ancient mystery schools of Egypt and Greece understood that the ultimate goal of initiation was not to worship the gods, but to realize that the God you seek is the one looking through your eyes. The Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, isn't just about stars and planets. It means the authority of the heavens is mirrored perfectly in the center of the human heart. However, recognizing this intellectually is one thing. Experiencing it is another. The ego, constructed for survival in the material world, is terrified of this inner light, because to the ego, that light looks like death. It looks like the end of the individual story. So the mind creates a compromise. It projects the light outward and calls it an angel. It's a defense mechanism. We are safer worshipping a stranger than acknowledging our own divinity. But there are cracks in the ego's defense. There are specific moments when the mask slips and the raw power of the I Am breaks through. These aren't just random feelings. They are systematic, observable signs that the magnetic pull of the divine spark is active in your life. The mystics have mapped these signs for thousands of years. They left us a manual on how to distinguish between the noise of the mind and the signal of the spirit. And once you learn to read these signals, you stop looking for a guardian to save you, and you start becoming the guardian you were meant to be. Let's examine the specific mechanics of how this cosmic Christ within actually operates, and why it often feels like a battle between two opposing wills inside your own head. If we accept the Gnostic premise that the guardian angel is actually the pneuma, the spark of the divine trapped in the density of your biological form, then we must ask a practical question. How does it communicate? If it doesn't use human language, if it doesn't send text messages, and if it often gets drowned out by the noise of our own neurotic thoughts, how does this internal divinity guide us? The answer lies in understanding that the I Am presence is not a person. It is a frequency. It operates like a radio station broadcasting from outside of time, trying to override the local programming of your survival instincts. The mystics of the ancient world were not just poets. They were spiritual engineers. They mapped the specific mechanics of this communication. They understood that the interaction between the eternal soul and the temporary ego follows precise laws, almost like physics. When the high self intervenes to protect or guide the low self, it leaves a specific fingerprint on your reality. It creates turbulence. It disrupts the status quo. We often mistake these disruptions for problems, bad luck, or mental instability, but they are actually the operational signatures of your own divinity trying to steer the ship. To truly embody this presence, we need to learn its language. We need to stop looking for feathers on the ground and start recognizing the subtle, often uncomfortable shifts in our own consciousness. Let's explore the 5 primary operations of the I Am presence, the 5 ways your internal guardian breaks the silence. Operation 1, the Socratic veto, the protective silence. The first and most reliable sign of the I Am presence is often misunderstood because it is negative. It is not a voice telling you what to do. It is a force stopping you from doing something. The ancient Greeks had a specific name for this, the daimonion. The philosopher Socrates, the father of Western thought, claimed throughout his life that he was guided by a divine sign. But here is the critical detail that most modern interpretations miss. Socrates explicitly stated that his demon never told him what to do. It only told him what not to do. It was a restrictive force, a divine veto. Think about the last time you were about to make a decision, perhaps to send an angry email, to invest in a sure thing, or to walk down a dark alley, and you felt a sudden, inexplicable heaviness in your chest. It wasn't a logical thought. It wasn't a moral judgment. It was a physical sensation of stop. This is the Socratic veto. It is the I Am presence engaging the emergency brakes. The reason this guidance often comes as a no rather than a yes is profound. In the realm of the absolute, all possibilities exist, and you are free to explore them. The divine spark respects your free will to create and experience. But when you are about to deviate so far from your soul's blueprint that you might cause irreparable damage to your trajectory, the guardian steps in. This mechanism is essentially a binary code from your higher consciousness. While the ego loves to chatter, analyze, and debate pros and cons, the I Am presence is silent and decisive. It doesn't argue. It simply withdraws its energy from the path that leads to destruction. You might feel a sudden drain of enthusiasm, a knot in the stomach, or a stupor that prevents you from acting. The tragedy of modern life is that we are trained to push through this resistance. We call it procrastination or fear, and we use willpower to override it. We force the action, only to find ourselves in a disaster weeks later thinking, "I knew I shouldn't have done that." The practice here is one of radical listening. For the next week, pay attention to the resistance. When you feel that subtle, non-verbal stop, honor it immediately. Don't ask why. Don't try to rationalize it. The logic often only appears in hindsight. By obeying the veto, you are building trust with that internal frequency. You are signaling to your own divinity that you are listening, which opens the channel for more subtle, positive guidance later on. Operation 2. The holographic mirror, synchronicity as language. Once you stop fighting the no, you begin to notice the yes. But the yes of the I am presence rarely comes as a voice in your head. Instead, it uses the world around you as a vocabulary. This brings us to the second operation, synchronicity. The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung defined synchronicity as meaningful coincidence, but the Gnostic interpretation goes deeper. In the Gnostic worldview, the external world is not separate from the internal mind. They are reflections of each other, like two mirrors facing off. The material world is a hologram projected by consciousness. When your I am presence wants to guide you toward a new timeline or confirm a realization, it manipulates the hologram. It causes the external reality to glitch in a way that is statistically impossible, but meaningful only to you. You might be thinking about a specific concept, say the idea of letting go, and suddenly a song comes on the radio with those exact lyrics. You walk down the street and see a graffiti tag that answers a question you asked in your head 10 seconds ago. These aren't random accidents. They are the I am presence, organizing the chaos of matter to send a signal. The key difference between a random coincidence and a divine signal is the emotional charge, or what psychologists call numinosity. A true synchronicity comes with a feeling of awe, a shiver down the spine, a sense that the veil between worlds has momentarily thinned. It feels uncanny. This is the cosmic Christ winking at you, reminding you that you are not a victim of reality, but a co-creator of it. The guardian angel isn't whispering in your ear. It is rearranging the furniture of your life to point you in the right direction. But why does it use such cryptic methods? Why not just write the answer on the wall? Because the purpose of the I am presence isn't just to give you information, it is to wake you up. By forcing you to interpret the symbol, it engages your intuition and bypasses your logical mind. It forces you to participate in the mystery. It demands that you become a decoder of your own reality. To practice this, you must adopt the mindset of a tracker. Treat your daily life as a dream that you are walking through awake. Ask a question to your inner self before you leave the house, and then drop it. Don't look for the answer, just observe. Watch the license plates, the snippets of overheard conversation, the patterns in the clouds. When the answer comes, it will click into place with a sense of knowingness that requires no validation. This is how the guardian speaks when the ego is finally quiet enough to see. Operation 3. The aching nostalgia, the call of the pleroma. The third operation is perhaps the most painful, yet it is the most definitive proof of your divine origin. It is a specific type of emotional longing that the Germans call Sehnsucht, a yearning for a far-off country that you have never visited, but which feels more like home than your current house. C.S. Lewis described it as the scent of a flower we have not found, the echo of a tune we have not heard, news from a country we have never yet visited. In the Gnostic tradition, this feeling is the memory of the pleroma, the fullness of the divine from which the spark fell. It is the I am presence vibrating at a frequency of pure love and unity, which creates a dissonance with the separation and harshness of the material world. We often misinterpret this longing. We think we are lonely for a partner, or hungry for success, or desperate for a vacation. We try to fill the hole with relationships, money, status, or distractions, but nothing fits. The hole is infinite, so finite things just fall through it. This divine dissatisfaction is actually a protective mechanism. It is your guardian angel ensuring that you never get too comfortable in the illusion. If you were perfectly content with the material world, if you felt completely satisfied by food, sex, and Netflix, you would never seek the exit. You would remain asleep in the matrix forever. The I am presence keeps a low-level fire burning in your heart, a holy restlessness to keep you moving. It is the magnetic pull of the source calling the droplet back to the ocean. Recognizing this ache as a spiritual signal rather than a psychological problem is a massive shift. Instead of medicating the longing or distracting yourself from it, you can turn toward it. You can sit with it. The next time you feel that wave of existential loneliness, realize that it is not a symptom of depression. It is a symptom of divinity. It is your internal compass pointing true north. The practice here is alchemy of emotion. Take that longing and direct it upward. Say to yourself, I feel this emptiness because I am vast enough to contain the infinite, and nothing less will satisfy me. This transmutes the pain of separation into the fuel for transcendence. Operation 4. The witness consciousness, the silent observer. Now we move to the most direct experience of the I Am presence available to us, the phenomenon of the witness. In every moment of your life, there are two of you. There is the you that is thinking, feeling, walking, and talking, the character in the movie, and then there is the you that is watching the character. This second self is the observer, the Sakshi of the Vedanta tradition. Try this right now. Close your eyes and notice your thoughts. Watch them come and go like clouds. Now ask yourself, who is watching these thoughts? The thoughts are changing, but the watcher is steady. Now notice your emotions. Who is aware of the emotions? Now notice your body sensations. Who is aware of the sensations? This watcher is the I Am. It has no age, no name, no history, and no form. It is pure awareness. Most people live their entire lives identified with the movie character. They think they are the angry thoughts, they are the sad feelings. The guardian angel's job is to snap you out of the movie and back into the seat of the audience. This often happens during moments of shock or awe. Have you ever been in a car accident or received terrible news and suddenly felt a strange, cold detachment? Time seemed to slow down. You watched yourself reacting. You watched the chaos. But deep down, there was a point of absolute stillness that was untouched by the event. That was the I Am taking the wheel. This witness state is the ultimate protection because it proves that you are not your body and you are not your mind. You are the consciousness containing them. When you rest in the witness, you are untouchable. The world can hurt the character, but it cannot scratch the screen on which the character is projected. The practice to strengthen this connection is simple but rigorous. It is the practice of self-inquiry or Atma Vichara. Throughout your day, interrupt your mental narrative with the question, to whom is this happening? When you feel anxiety, ask, who is aware of this anxiety? This creates a micro gap between the stimulus and your reaction. In that gap, you find your freedom. You realize that the guardian angel isn't coming to save you. The guardian angel is the part of you that is already safe, always has been, and always will be. Operation 5. The Tower Moment. Liberation through destruction. Finally, we must address the most terrifying way the I Am presence operates, the destruction of the false self. In the tarot, the Tower card depicts a lightning bolt striking a stone tower, throwing figures to their doom. It looks like a disaster, but in the esoteric path, it is an act of mercy. Sometimes the ego builds a life that is so out of alignment with the soul's blueprint, a career that suffocates you, a relationship that diminishes you, a persona that is a complete lie, that the only way the I Am presence can protect the soul is to destroy the lifestyle. The Gnostics understood that the divine spark is buried under layers of archontic conditioning. Sometimes, gentle nudges, synchronicity, and intuitive warnings, the veto, aren't enough. We are too stubborn. We grip the illusion too tightly. So the guardian sends a lightning bolt, you get fired. Your partner leaves, you get sick. The structure collapses. At the moment of impact, it feels like your guardian angel has abandoned you. You scream at the heavens, why did you let this happen? But if you look back at these moments years later, you almost always realize, that was the best thing that could have happened to me. The disaster forced you to let go of who you thought you were, so you could become who you actually are. This is the severe mercy of the inner divinity. It cares more about your eternal reality than your temporary comfort. It is willing to break your heart to save your soul. If you are currently in a tower moment, if your life feels like it is crumbling, consider the possibility that this is not punishment. It is an intervention. The I Am presence is clearing the site for a new construction. The operational principle here is surrender. When the tower falls, don't try to glue the bricks back together. Don't try to rebuild the same life that just collapsed. Stand in the rubble, feel the wind. Look at the horizon that was blocked by the walls you built. Ask the debris, what is trying to emerge from this? This reframing turns a catastrophe into an initiation. It aligns you with the destructive creative power of the universe, making you an active participant in your own resurrection. Now, having recognized these 5 signals, the veto, the mirror, the ache, the witness, and the lightning, we begin to see a pattern. The I Am presence isn't just a passive energy. It is an intelligent, relentless force driving you toward a specific destination. But where exactly is it trying to take you? And if this presence is truly you, why does the merger with it feel like a death? This brings us to the final paradox, the secret that the ancient mystery schools guarded with their lives. We have explored the signs, the mechanics, and the practical operations of this internal guidance system. But now we must face the terrifying philosophical implication of what the Gnostics and the non-dual masters were actually trying to tell us. If the guardian angel is indeed your own I Am presence, the divine spark buried in flesh, then the narrative of your life is not a journey of improvement. It is a journey of retrieval. Here is the twist that changes everything. You are not a human being trying to become spiritual. You are a spiritual entity that has been captured by a biological machine. The Gnostics called this the alien god hypothesis. Not alien, as in extraterrestrial, but alien to this dimension. They believed that the divine spark within you does not belong to the material universe. It is a fragment of the pleroma, the fullness of light, which has fallen into a realm of density, entropy, and decay. Think about what this means for the guardian angel. It means this presence isn't trying to help you win at life in the way the ego defines winning. It doesn't care about your promotion, your reputation, or your bank account, except as tools for your awakening. Its sole purpose is a jailbreak. It is the thread of Ariadne leading you out of the labyrinth of the Minotaur. This explains why the guidance of the I Am presence often feels counterintuitive or even destructive to your worldly plans. The part of you that belongs to the world wants comfort. The part of you that belongs to eternity wants freedom. These 2 agendas are often at war. The angel is the saboteur of your illusions. It is the radioactive core of truth that refuses to let you settle for a comfortable lie. The ancient text, the Hymn of the Pearl, describes a prince who goes down into Egypt, a symbol for the material world, to retrieve a pearl. But he eats the heavy food of the Egyptians and falls asleep, forgetting he is a prince. A letter flies down from his father, the king, and turns into a voice that wakes him up. That letter is the I Am presence. That prince is you. And the pearl? The pearl is the gnosis, the knowledge of who you really are. So the ultimate paradox is this. You have been looking for a savior to come down and lift you up. But the Gnostics say you are the savior who came down. You volunteered for this heaviness. You are the rescue mission. The guardian angel is simply the frequency of your mission parameters, reminding you not to go native. If this is true, if you are the embodied divinity, the Atman, the Christos in the tomb of the body, then the implications for how you live your daily life are shattering. It means you can no longer play the victim. You can no longer blame your parents, your trauma, the government, or the archons for your state of being. Responsibility is the shadow of power. If you have the power of the I Am within you, you have the responsibility to wield it. This is what the Orthodox mystics called theosis, the process of becoming godlike in your actions. It means that in every interaction, you have a choice. Do I react from the programming of the biological machine, fear, anger, greed, or do I respond from the perspective of the divine spark, compassion, clarity, sovereignty? When you cut someone off in traffic, when you lie to protect your ego, when you numb yourself with distractions, you are not just making a mistake. You are denying your own nature. You are choosing the mud over the pearl. The guardian angel withdraws its voice not to punish you, but because it cannot resonate at that frequency. However, this also offers the ultimate liberation. If the guardian is you, then you are never truly alone. Loneliness is an illusion caused by identifying with the body. The body is separate from other bodies, yes, but the consciousness looking through your eyes is the same consciousness looking through mine. It is the same light in a different lamp. To live this implication is to walk through the world as a sleeper agent of the divine. You still pay your taxes, you still go to work, you still hug your family. But internally, you are operating from a different set of orders. You are no longer seeking validation from the world because you know the world is a projection. You become, as the Bible says, in the world, but not of it. This is the state of the Jivan Mukta in the Vedic tradition, one who is liberated while still living. The I Am presence transforms your suffering. When pain comes, you don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" You ask, "What is this trying to burn away?" You realize that the fire of suffering is the only thing hot enough to melt the chains of the ego. The guardian angel uses the fire not to hurt you, but to free you. As we reach the end of this investigation, we must confront the final mystery. We have dismantled the external angel. We have located the internal spark. We have decoded its signals and accepted its terrible responsibility. But one question remains, hovering over the edge of human understanding like a dark star. If I have an I Am presence, and you have an I Am presence, and every sentient being has this spark, are there billions of separate divine sparks? Or is there only one flame? The quantum physicist Erwin Schrödinger, a student of the Vedanta, famously said, "Consciousness is a singular of which the plural is unknown." The mystics agree. They suggest that the guardian angel isn't your higher self. It is the self. It is the singular, infinite consciousness of the cosmos, playfully hiding from itself behind billions of masks. Maybe the guardian angel is simply the universe checking in on itself. Maybe the conversation you are having with your intuition is actually a monologue. Think about that for a moment. If the separation between us is an illusion, then every time you harm another, you are harming your own leg. Every time you judge another, you are judging a reflection in a dark mirror. And every time you help another, you are simply taking care of your own larger body. The I Am presence is the solvent that dissolves the boundaries of the ego. It whispers the most dangerous secret of all. Tat tvam asi, thou art that. You are the angel you have been praying to. You are the demon you have been running from. You are the stage, the actor, and the audience. So the next time you feel that sudden, inexplicable pull in your chest, that silence that stops you, that coincidence that shakes you, that longing that breaks you, don't look up at the sky. Look in. Because the only thing standing between you and the infinite power of the cosmos is the belief that you are separate from it. And now, a question for the silence that follows. If you are the universe experiencing itself as a human for a little while, who is the you that is terrified of dying? And who is the you that is smiling, knowing that the sun never actually sets? It only seems to for those who are standing in the shadow. The hunt continues.